The fragile ceasefire many hoped would be the foundation for a permanent end to the Iran war is once again under strain. Iran has launched its first wave of missiles towards Israel since the truce took effect 2 months ago. With fears now growing, the region will plunge back into heavy fighting. Iran says it was retaliating against deadly Israeli strikes on Lebanon earlier today. It was the first time Israel struck Beirut since the U.S. brokered a truce plan for Lebanon last week. Iran has long said any peace deal with the U.S. would depend on a ceasefire also holding in Lebanon. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard warns today was the beginning of a full week of continuous strikes. And CBC's Crystal Gomansing is following this story for us out of Jerusalem. Crystal, can you tell us more about this latest wave of missiles?
Well, Deanna, this is a major escalation. We haven't seen Iran launch ballistic missiles against Israel since the ceasefire took effect back in April. At this point, Israel Defense Forces are saying that none of the ballistic missiles actually made their way into any of those communities. It appears that central Israel and the north was actually targeted. Officials with the Israeli government saying that those were all intercepted. And at this point, there has been no information shared about any debris falling, causing any sort of damages or any injuries. We did hear from the military Brigadier General Effie Defrin. He has said that a security assessment will be made to determine the next steps. And he made a point of saying that Iran has made a grave mistake launching these latest attacks. Now, Iranian officials are saying, and they had telegraphed, that they were going to strike Israel tonight, saying it was in retaliation for the Israeli airstrikes on Lebanon in the central Beirut area in the southern suburb around Dahia. Israeli forces earlier in the day saying that they were targeting a Hezbollah headquarters. So this is a ratcheting up of the conflict, which has been quite quiet, at least on the Iranian-Israeli front, for several weeks now. But again, at this point, it does not appear that there is any damages, does not appear that these ballistic missiles, this latest barrage, actually got through and caused any damage. But right now they are saying there will be no school tomorrow, and there will be a security assessment to determine what Israel will do to respond.
You just pointed out a major escalation, something that, the world definitely does not want to see. But what has the reaction been like in Israel and in Iran?
Well, let's start with Israel's National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir. He very quickly took to social media, posting in Hebrew on X that tonight Tehran must burn. Now, this sort of rhetoric is not surprising coming from Itamar Ben-Gvir. He has been one of those far-right coalition ministers who has been encouraging Israel to push ahead, to continue their operations, not only in and against Iran, but also in Lebanon. Meanwhile, we have also heard from U.S. President Donald Trump, local media here in Israel saying that there was a phone call between the U.S. president and the Israeli prime minister. Earlier, Axios in the United States was reporting that the U.S. president said that he would tell Netanyahu not to retaliate, that they are very close to a deal, and he does not want to see things escalate. He also had a message to Iran earlier that was telegraphed during a conversation with Fox Radio with the U.S. president. He said his message to Iran would be that they fired their missiles, it's over, it's done. Stop, get back to the table and negotiate.
Crystal, thank you so much for that. CBC's Crystal Gomansing reporting for us from Jerusalem.